What's up, and welcome to episode 137 of Life in Motion. I've got Kate and Brooke with me from Jacob's Chance. Their mission is to empower individuals with developmental, intellectual, and physical disabilities through inclusive programs. I'm also really excited to announce that they are February's nonprofit partner, which means this month, 20% of all sales from illumincollect.com will be donated to their mission. I'm excited to learn more about their impact and also to what the community collection means to them. Kate, Brooke, thanks for being on the show today.
Thanks for having us. We're really excited to be here.
Absolutely.
It's me as well.
We love the logo.
Well, let's start with the reason of the shirt and maybe the impact with that. So, but before we do that, Kate, obviously you're on here on the podcast not too long ago, so we kind of heard your story. And Brooke, this is the first time meeting you, which I'm really excited. But let's go ahead and start with you, Brooke, and kind of a background story of of who you are and sort of how you got involved with the organization.
Definitely. Yeah. So I am a board certified music therapist. And so I came to Kate 3 years ago, actually through my parents. So not to date Kate, but she went to high school with my parents. um, and so that connection was always there. And then over the years, they'd run into each other and kept saying, oh, we need to get them together. And eventually I did reach out after I graduated and I saw that she had just started a music program within Jacob's Chance, and I was interested in helping with that. So I started as a volunteer for about a year and a half until when COVID hit, I was able to help Kate turn some of the programs virtual, and then I was hired part time. And then over a year ago, I was able to be hired full time. So I'm the full time program director now.
That's awesome. No, that's cool, and how things work out that way. And when had Kate on before originally, she mentioned some of those kind of long term connections that kind of developed, and then obviously continue to kind of give back to the organization and help it grow in that way. Um, and Kate, kind of how about yourself? And also, we probably should have started with how it started first as well. But I wanted Brooke to go first since she hasn't been on yet. But let's kind of start with your story.
Yeah, absolutely. And we refer to Brooke as the young and spry Kate. So go ahead and date me. So yeah, I started River City Buddy Ball, which was the athletics, is our athletic program of Jacob's Chance 15 years ago. And just started off with baseball and started adding more sports to it. But the reason why I started it, I was leaving a baseball game with my son, who at the time I was maybe 6 or 7 years old, and we were passing a baseball field where I saw all the parents out on the field, and I just sat for 2 hours in the stands and was able to communicate and talk with other parents, talk about doctors, and just connecting as parents do. And there's something about being able to watch your kiddo play sports.
Yeah.
Just you're proud of them because they're being independent. And so anyway, once I got closer to the field and saw the parents helping their kids play baseball, and I couldn't quite figure out why until I got even closer and realized that their children had disabilities, and so they needed to be one on one. And I stopped, asked questions. I've been told I have the gift of gab, so as my boys would say, "Hurry up, mom." Um, so I asked, and they were having problems getting volunteers in. So I started reaching out to high schools around town, and we started getting volunteers to come in, which gave parents an opportunity to sit in the stands and have the same bleacher journey that I was taking myself, and to be able to connect with other parents and watch their children play independently away from them. And it really helped grow awareness about people with disabilities and how if you just remove a few boundaries, they could do the same thing. Like it's inclusive. It should be inclusive. So that's kind of how it. Kind of a quick story of the way it got started. And fast forwarding, so for 5 years we did the athletics, and we started to grow different programs. Um, and as we were growing, I was working for an accounting firm, and the partners all came to me and said, "Hey, you're really starting to branch out. You should make this like a true nonprofit." And so, with the help of one of the partners, Ken Dance, he got all my paperwork together, submitted it, and got my paperwork back stamped that we were official on February 5th. So that will be 10 years this February 5th that we've been Jacob's Chance. And so the question always, of course, is who is Jacob? And that's another part of how my story began. Is I met a lady named Terry Retzky on the flag football field as my oldest, again back to sports, was playing flag football with her youngest son. And I met Terry 2 years after her son Jacob passed away from complications of his disabilities. And I got to know Jacob through her and her family. And Terry used to adapt the sports for Jacob to be able to play in the backyard. So he played backyard sports. He loved it. He loved the horseback ride. There's so many things that he did because people removed boundaries to make it happen. So when it came time to name Jacob's Chance, I thought that this could be Jacob's chance to live through all of his friends. And the smiles that you see on everyone's faces now are the same smiles that you see in the pictures of Jacob. So it's kind of how the story started.
No, that's amazing, and obviously a great honor for Jacob in that sense. And I think what's kind of truly impressive is, you taking your time to kind of realize that, um, I guess, the differences in interactions between parents and however their kids are and that kind of stuff, and then understanding that, because a lot of people probably don't think about that. If they see an individual kind of like that and a parent with a kid, but then to figure out how to kind of shift that mindset of, I don't want to say normal parent, but that's the only thing I can the word I can think of, but and help them kind of have that same experience, which also helps the kid as well.
Yes.
Um, and the fact that you did that for so long before even becoming a nonprofit, or like 5 years or whatever. So, just it sounds like you have a golden heart, I guess, is what I'm getting at.
I do, but I definitely know that I share that same passion right here and with so many other volunteers, because volunteers are the backbone of Jacob's Chance, and we truly couldn't do it without everyone's support and love.
Yeah. Well, and it's your personality is easy to gravitate to, from the times we've spoken. So it makes sense why we get good people like Brooke and all the volunteers and everything like that around you. So
Thank you. Thank you. I
s-
appreciate that.
yeah, yeah, of course. So as far as like the specific programs that you all run, and kind of the age range and stuff like that, what are some more of the kind of the details of kind of those specifics?
I'll let my program director take it from here.
Pass the mic.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's exciting. We actually just increased our top age range to age 40. So I believe
Okay.
when we started, we served up to 25. And now over the years, as our participants grow up, we're not going to let anyone age out. And
Yeah.
so we've been increasing the age. So now we serve from ages 5 to 40. Um, and of course, we start with athletics. That's kind of our founding program area. But then we've also, over the years, added an inclusive fitness and health program with VCU, which is amazing. They adapt different fitness goals, come up with healthy eating plans. So they really individualize fitness for our participants. And so that's for the teens and young adults. We also have our adventure program, which I'm sure we'll get back to, but that's been really huge recently, getting our participants into the outdoors and adapting activities in that way. We also have social clubs. We have a teen social club and we have a young adult social club. So we have the teen scene and then the hangout. And then we also have a weekly board game group. So we just come together, play games, hang out, just like any typical friends would do, and kind of meet new people that way. And then the last program area that is just a few years old at this point is our day enrichment programs for young adults. So we realize that there is a need in the community for what is my child going to do after high school? If getting a job isn't the right fit, if a day program isn't the right fit, we've come up with these enrichment programs where we offer 1 to 3 programs every day where they can sign up. We've done music, we've done culinary arts, we've done STEM, we have a Wonders of Wildlife program. We're working with different community partners to teach our group about wildlife, getting them into the outdoors. So we really try to think outside of the box when coming up with program ideas, saying, what are things that we want to do? What are things that typical young adults want to do? And then we kind of just go from there and make it happen.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of great layers to that, from the different activities to the, like you mentioned, the social aspect to it, board games, all those things. Really quite impressive that you all balance all of that. So when it comes to kind of branching out, or that, well, as you all continue to branch out as far as the different programs and stuff like that, what does that look like? Is that like you said, just kind of, hey, we would like to do is, how do we make this work? Or are there ever any parents or individuals that come up and like, hey, Johnny's been talking about doing this. Like, do you think there's a group of kids that would also like to do that? Like, what is that kind of, that interaction look like to kick those new programs off?
Yeah, we definitely. I feel like my whole journey for 15 years, I've been listening to what the parents are saying, and listen. In fact, we before COVID, we had an annual dance each year. That dance didn't start until one of the parents said to me, my child will never be able to experience going to a dance, like a high school dance. And she wanted that so bad for her daughter. And I was like, well, let's just have a dance. So it's moments like that. Another great moment recently, as a participant came up to us and said that they would like to do an enrichment class and help lead it and design it. I don't know, you want to talk a little bit more about that? It's kind of a cool thing.
Yeah, I don't know how much we want to.
Yeah,
because it's kind of in the works. So we're gonna
Some teasers.
yeah, but we listen to what they're interested in and kind of go from there. So yeah, this young lady said, "Hey, I'm really interested in this topic. I don't know that I want to lead it, but can I kind of help put it together? Can I plan? Can we co-lead?" And we said, "Absolutely, that's not even a question. We'll make it happen." So we're talking to different partners in the community to make this new and exciting program happen. So it's gonna hopefully be launched in the spring. So we'll be able to share more about that soon.
That's awesome.
But that happened with the Young Adult Club last month too. Every month we do something different as far as the social goes. And I had a parent come up and say, "Hey, my kid loves going to the arcade." And I said, "Okay, let's do it." So we had 32 participants over at
Really?
the arcade a couple weeks ago and just having a blast. And so all it takes is a little bit of, organizing on our part, making sure the venue knows that we're coming, knows what to expect, just removing those small boundaries that may make it typically a little bit hard for them to participate in activities without a little bit of assistance. So we made it happen, and they had a great time.
Yeah. Yep.
That's awesome. And especially, yeah, to be able to take that feedback or suggestions and actually be able to do something about it. I mean, there's some organizations where they're kind of like, okay, this is the only thing we do,
Mm.
and you are super receptive to those ideas, which is awesome. And then, and so kind of going back to who you serve. So, you bumped up the age range, you don't want anybody to ever kind of age out. So with that, like, how many people do you all like work with? I don't know, in a year or a given time, especially with so many different programs. It seems like it's quite a lot.
Yeah. And not just participants, you have to include the volunteers in that number as
Yeah.
well. I would say well over 300.
Yeah, I think families alone, we kind of added up for last year. Over 500 families we were able to impact
Wow.
last year. Of course, there are some families that only do adventures or only do sports, but then we have some that sign up for every single thing that we do. So we're pretty cool. It's pretty cool to be able to see people in lots of different aspects. Um, yeah, we kind of categorize. We have social and recreational programs, and so we think of what people want to do and kind of go from there. Um, but yeah,
We've served quite
a
few.
lot of people. Yeah, from 5 to 40.
No, that's amazing. That's a lot. That's a lot, and especially an impact, and especially how that spreads out into the community, and not even the individuals or the families or the volunteers themselves, but if you're going to a public place, if I'm at the park and you all are doing something there,
Mhm.
you're going to see that, and it might make that person kind of change their perspective in that way. I'm sure there's some kind of unknown trickle effect that you would never be able to track, but I'm sure it happens all the time.
Yeah, we do, and we do see those moments happen. It's I was we were fishing with our friends at Beyond Boundaries last year, and we were sitting on the pier, and this family came over, and they the young girl had never been fishing before, and the mom started asking questions about our group, who we were, and we made a new friend. But it was a moment when we were out, and just a random family came in, sat down, and they started fishing with us, and then it became a true inclusive moment for everyone, and they walked away learning so much more than they knew before they came. And that's one of the whole missions of Jacob's Chance is to be able to spread awareness, and we do it through so many different people.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's so important, and it's cool. I'm sure those stories happen all the time, kind of as you mentioned. So, as you're looking into 2023, what kind of overall goals, going into year 10 and everything, and kind of that growth, like what I guess what does that look like, or is you just kind of riding it as it comes?
I think we do both.
That's true. But I mean, you mentioned the word growth, and that really is going to be our keyword for 2023. In a lot of different ways, we're working on growing our team right now with hiring another program manager. So we're going to have a third member of our team here soon, which we're excited about. And in doing that, we're going to be able to grow our participants. Grow the number of families that we can reach. We serve the Metro Richmond area, but a lot of families come out of town, and so we want to be able to offer programs in different areas to be able to accommodate those families too. Grow our volunteer base. We have some amazing volunteers, but there's so many people in this area who haven't heard of what we're doing, don't know the mission of Jacob's Chance, don't know how many wonderful people there are in this community that we serve through our program. So, growing our volunteer base in that way too. So I think growth is going to be our big word for 2023.
Definitely. Yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then and it feels like part of that growth that you've all have had success with is partnering with other organizations. You mentioned VCU, Beyond Boundaries. I think you've done stuff with Keep Virginia Cozy before, if I'm not mistaken. What are those kind of relationships like, and kind of working with, obviously each of those kind of have their own niche, in their own, but you're bringing your programs with their help and vice versa. What do those kind of relationships, those community relationships look like?
Truly, that phrase, it takes a village to make things happen. Well, in our room, we say make great things happen. And truly, Beyond Boundaries and Keep Virginia Cozy, Art on Wheels, the different partners that we use help us grow our programs and our participants, because without what they do, it'd be very difficult. They're the pros at it. We count on them to help us be able to take their talents and enrich the minds of those we're serving.
Yeah, there are a lot of partners. We've been working. I mentioned the wildlife group earlier, and there are some partners we work with that have never worked with people with disabilities, and so we get to learn about what they do, the importance of that. They get to learn about the community we serve, and then together we have an amazing experience by working together and kind of meeting in the middle, learning about each other, raising awareness while participating in something really fun. So it's kind of a win-win-win in every area.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome, and that's it truly kind of building a community around that and opening other people's um, minds as well. And I guess that brings us to the thing that I mentioned at the beginning. You all are this month's nonprofit partner for the community collection for the month of February. Y'all can see the shirt they're wearing, the shirt behind me, but 20% of each purchase will be going back to your mission. So I'm really excited about that. But what does specifically this kind of partnership kind of mean to you? Or it's a little bit of outside of the box. I'm not or we're not necessarily going out on the ventures, but trying to help raise awareness. What does that kind of stuff mean for you all as an organization?
Well, I think the fact that you said it, you're raising awareness, and that means everything to us, because you're raising awareness for multiple reasons. We're going to be able to probably spread for people in other areas. It could even be other states, because some of the things that we do, we offer through Zoom.
Yeah.
And so we're going to hit a lot more people, and spread the good word about the things that we do, which I think we're pretty excited about. And just awareness about people with disabilities, and how you can be a part of removing boundaries to make everything to make it inclusive, to make us all together.
I think, you have a lot of your own followers that aren't familiar with us. And kind of that light bulb moment that Kate was talking about, with the whole creation of Jacob's Chance. Oh my goodness, there's so many people out here that I didn't realize struggled to do these activities that I find, day to day.
Yeah.
Um, so, I think being able to raise awareness of the fact that there are adapted adventures out there, there are opportunities for people to get outside, to learn about nature, to do all the things that we do. I think that light bulb moment we're really hoping can happen for more people too. It's easy to kind of stay in your own lane, not really be aware of the struggles that other people might have to do these things that you take for granted. So I'm hoping that that's a goal from this too. I think that could be really amazing.
Truly, and I also think as well, people have there's different types of talents out there, and we might be able to enrich our minds and enrich ours that we serve with some really cool things that we never really thought about. And so we're definitely open to people coming to us to say, hey, I have this really cool idea and I do this. Would you like for me to lead a program for you? So it's just, that's how community comes together to make great things happen.
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely, and we're proud to be a part of it. Like I said before, kind of your personality and your golden heart when we talked on the podcast for makes perfect sense for that. And a good point too about the different Zoom programs and stuff that you have as well for people that might not be local to the Richmond area. To that point, where can people find you online to kind of get involved if they are local, or if they just kind of want to follow along, get some inspiration, look at the Zoom and that kind of stuff?
So they can go to our website, the www.jacobschance.org website. And you can also, at the top of our website, you can click on receive the weekly newsletter. And in that newsletter, we show the opportunities that you can register for as participants or volunteers.
Okay.
We also have Facebook and Instagram, so we encourage people to follow us there too. We like to stay up to date on, or make sure that everyone's up to date on what we have going on. So that's a pretty cool way to check out firsthand through pictures and videos what we're up to.
Absolutely. Well, everybody definitely make sure you check them out online. Get involved if you can, volunteer. If you're a business, figure out how to help them as well. Obviously, big hearts over there at Jacob's Ranch, as the big heart in the screen right here. If you're watching this podcast, you can see that. So, I appreciate you all coming on. I'm really looking forward to this partnership and wishing you all the best of luck for the 2023 year.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for this opportunity. We truly appreciate it. I really know things are really going to happen.
We love what y'all are doing too, and so the fact that we were picked for February is amazing. So we were really excited about the opportunity and kind of can't wait to see what comes from it.
Yeah, we're going to make great things happen.
There you go.